going on, Ranger fans and hockey fans all around the world? Welcome back to another edition of 407 Rangers. I'm your host, Raven Tapia. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and a comment. Turn on your notifications when I'm about to upload a post-game recap, highlights, or a community feed. So, as you guys know, the Rangers are back from a Four Nations break in the tournament itself. Now, the Four Nations was definitely way better to watch than the All-Star game for the NBA as a basketball player myself. Because I keep telling a lot of people that are into basketball, man, like, how come you go to basketball but you're so into hockey? I'm like, because the NHL is not political like that. That's why it's a much more funner sport to watch. Because they understand that all we want to watch is good hockey and people fighting for their country and on the ice. But the Four Nations was definitely great. As you guys know, pretty much everybody was tuned in to the TV. It doesn't matter who you are, what you say. Yeah, you can say the NBA had good ratings, all that, but you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't even see how ESPN was talking about the NHL Four Nations, let alone the fact that they had NBA segments stop talking about basketball and start getting the understanding of how good of a sport hockey is. That should tell you everything you need to know. I mean, the NHL, it is growing, yes, but the NHL has always been a good product. Like it's nothing new. It's just we're just putting the new people that have never seen hockey onto this. Like, hey, welcome to hockey. This is what it's about. They fight. It's normal. That's hockey for you. But PK Subban definitely had good segments as well. And congratulations to freaking Canada because that was a well-deserved victory for them, especially on the political standpoint. Because even as a Trump supporter myself, Canada did not deserve all that freaking nonsense they were getting, man. Like 51st day, come on, man. Just let Canada be Canada, man. Like like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and be just because I support Trump doesn't mean I'm gonna clown Canada and say Trudeau's an idiot. Oh, I can't wait to see Canada be defeated first state. No, Canada is a country of its own, and it needs to stay that way because yeah, America's with their political stuff, they're doing too much. Even I can say that as a Trump supporter myself. It's too much for that part. But without Canada, there wouldn't be hockey. So it's like America has to realize at the end of the day, yeah, hockey is an exciting sport, but we're not going to sit here and disrespect the country that created it. Without Canada, like I said, there would not be hockey. End of story. Like Montreal, what if Montreal never found out you can skate on the ice and actually grab a stick and hit it in the net? Centuries ago, we would not have the NHL. But anywho, we'll get back to the Rangers roller coaster mess that was back after the Four Nations. And shout out to McDavid as well, because I feel like he's going to be the pretty much the new generation of the next Sidney Crosby. Great, but the next thing he has to do now is obviously win a Stanley Cup, which I could see it happening. It could probably possibly be with the Oilers too. You never know. He might be the guy that breaks the Canadian curse that brings the Stanley Cup back to Canada for the first time after like 4 decades. So it wouldn't surprise me. But anywho, let's get to this Rangers nonsense because you guys know last night they lost really badly to the Sabres, which is so funny to even say that because like at this point it seems like the Rangers can't figure out the Buffalo Sabres this season. The Buffalo Sabres been spanking, and this is the second time they gave them a freaking like. There's nothing for me to talk about with this one. It's like you guys know how bad they lost. I mean, do you guys really want to get excited about this team losing by 6 goals last night? I mean, do I have to explain how Kreider and Mika were the only ones that scored? The duo that freaking love each other, but yet somehow hurts everyone else in the team with that. But Ryan McLeod, Tage Thompson, and Ramlis Dahlin could have all scored a hat trick. That's all you have to know about that game. And the fact that they pulled Igor Shesterkin early and Jonathan Quick couldn't even do the job tells you everything you need to know, which I get it. It's been a while since, like over a week since they played a couple of games, and they're probably a little rusty and they got to pick it up. But when I came back from the basketball game, which the funny thing is we won, but the Rangers lost. Anywho, I said to myself, you know what? I know that they just came back from the Four Nations, so I'm not gonna lose sleep, be angry about this. They just had a very horrible game. I'm sure they're gonna bounce back in Pittsburgh because I'm sure that it's gonna be in their head that they just lost by 6 goals to a team that should have been beaten twice. So we'll get to the Rangers and Penguins one because this was the game to watch today. It was at 3:30, which TNT is they gotta tighten up in their timings, man. This is why I actually miss watching NHL on NBC because NBC used to do such a good job with the timing, the commentary, everything. It felt like everything was like it was perfect, man. I even though TNT has been a little more exciting to watch with NHL because they have been doing a better job. Back in the days, if you asked a real deal diehard hockey fan what was their favorite channel to watch at one point, they will tell you just like I will, NBC hockey. Like the commentary, everything about it was fire. So we'll get to the first period. Evan Jean Macklin hits the goal with the tip, and Cody Glass with the assist, making it his 11th for the season, and then Danton Heinen with his 14th assist on that play as well. And then, of course, Matt Rempe. Man, let me tell you guys something. I get it. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves him. He loves what he do in the ice. Da 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 da. They always win a game when he's around. But I just want to know when is he gonna stop doing these crazy board hits and freaking learn to not crash out and just use your size for skill reasons, not for physical dirtiness that's gonna get you kicked out of the league. Because it's like, bro, what is it gonna take for the league to like tell you to freaking chill out? Which I get it. Some of them aren't intentional, but it's like, bro, you gotta relax, dude. That 8 game suspension in here, that should have had you not even trying to freaking give no one a concussion. I'm not saying Matt Rempe shouldn't be hit checking nobody, but that hit he did on Matt Grizzlick was bad. Like it looked like the buddy got concussed for sure, because the way like his neck was crushed into the glass was crazy work. Now we'll get to the part where the Rangers somehow stay in the mix, because at this point, Will Cooley, I have to say this as a diehard Ranger fan, this whole season, Will Cooley has basically been the New York Rangers. Like I gotta tell you, if we did not have Will Cooley this season, our record would just have been a lot worse than it is now. Like we are still somehow in the mix, which I don't even know how that's possible. But man, if we didn't have Will Cooley playing like he did this season, they would not have the record they do now. No, absolutely not. Because at this point, Will Cooley is just carrying the team along with Igor Shesterkin. Because I get it, people get mad when Igor has his like, oh, he's Mr. Softy, he allows too many soft goals, but this game, Igor was a legit reason why they were still in it. Yeah, you can talk about the goals and all that, but Igor was legit the reason why they stayed in it, man. So in the second period, you had JT Miller, of course, hit the snapshot goal. Adam Fox with his 42nd assist on that play, and Artemi Panarin as well with his 36th assist, which I don't even know what's going on with Panarin, because like this game, it was like he was moving the puck around, but he was still invisible. It was so weird to watch. Like this was the weirdest game of the season. I can definitely say that this was the weirdest win, because it was like, you guys see my face? Do I look excited that they won this game? This was like puck luck and Igor and Cooley's game. That was it. And in the third period, you had Ryan Shea hit the goal with the wrister, and Evan Jean Macklin with the assist, and making it his 27th for the season. Eric Carlson with the assist, making it his 34th. And then, ironically, right after, Ryan Shea hits another goal, tying it right back up for the Penguins with his wrist shot. Sidney Crosby with his 42nd assist for the season, and then Kevin Hayes with his 7th assist. Sidney Crosby was definitely looking pretty good this game, because it seems like he picked up right where he left off in the Four Nations. And that's always good to see if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, which I think if you're a Penguins fan, you should appreciate Sidney Crosby because you guys basically have a modern Mario Lemieux, just happened to have a longer career than he did. Because if Lemieux didn't get sick and happened to have those injuries, he would have had a ridiculous career still, which he still has great numbers. So that's how I grew up knowing about the Pittsburgh Penguins, freaking Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, which ironically, Jaromir Jagr at one point was a New York Ranger. But let's get back to the segment. So right after the back-to-back goals from Ryan Shea, Jimmy Vesey hits the goal with the wrister. And then there was Vincent Trocheck with the assist, making it his 21st, and Ryan Lindgren with the assist, making it his 14th. Which, man, I really hate that Ryan Lindgren gets away with all this stuff because it's like he's sometimes can be an infuriating player, but it's like the goals and the assists makes him like say, hey, look, I scored a goal, I got an assist. How can you hate me? Type of freaking player. But Adam Fox hit a nasty goal on this one. I'm not gonna lie, because the way he did that the little toe drag and he brought it down and freaking cocked it back, I already knew he was gonna do some crazy shit. Like the minute I saw the stick winding back, I'm like, oh, he's about to drag the puck and just try to dart it in there. And ironically, he did. So Riley Smith had his assist on that one, which funny as hell that Riley Smith, I know he's been doing okay, but man, I truly wish like we could have gotten so much more in the offseason, which I ain't even gonna get to that. But he had his assist making it to the 18th, and Mika Zibanejad with his assist as well. Sorry guys, little acid reflux kicked in, but that was his 27th for the season. And then ironically, I even talked. You can ask my equipment guy about this. I said to him, I was like, well, they're going to try to get the goalie out of the net to get an extra attacker when they hit the 2-minute mark because they're going to be desperate. I'm like, it can go either way. This can be tied, or the Rangers hit this goal and it's over. So, and the funniest thing about it, right when I said that, 3 minutes later, you freaking hear the freaking commentators like, well, it's 2 minutes. What do you do in this situation? Do you pull out the goalie? I was like, I fucking knew it. Oh, what are the odds? The hockey gods heard what I said, and they said Raymond has yet to prevail. But anywho, Igor Shesterkin did have a freaking good night as well. JT Miller with the empty net goal, of course. Jimmy Vesey with his second assist of the season or game, ain't no telling. But pretty much after they hit that goal, you knew it was over. But I give credit for Pittsburgh for putting up a fight because they were right in it still. Everybody thought it was game over. Rangers gonna be up 3, 4 goals and walk away with this win. But in the third period, the Penguins definitely put up a much better fight. So I'll give them credit for that. Igor Shesterkin, which he had a pretty decent night, even though he allowed those 3 goals. Without him, they definitely would have not won. He had 39 save attempts, 3 goals allowed, 36 saves, a 923 save percentage. And then you had Joel Blomqvist, which this guy is so mid. I truly don't understand how the Rangers couldn't like freaking score a lot more goals the way he's been playing. Like it was ridiculous. He had 15 save attempts, 4 goals allowed, 11 saves, and a 733 save percentage. Like you hear that stat? That stat's so gross. It's like, how did you not score a lot more goals with that type of goalie behind the net? But it is what it is. Rangers did get the win. Can't complain at all. A win is a win, I guess. That's where I can leave it at. But I will keep you guys updated on the next upcoming game because, of course, they play the Islanders, which that one is going to be an interesting one to see because I feel like they're pretty much an even matchup in a way. But obviously, I want the Rangers to beat the Islanders because every Ranger fan hates that team, which I get it. I mean, that fan base is hilarious. They be trying to troll us, but yet their arenas can't fill up their own fans. Like their own fans don't want to see an Islanders game. That's how crazy it is for that freaking organization. But like I can't say nothing myself because the Rangers are no better. All they care about is winning President's trophies and getting freaking close to the Stanley Cup, and that's their victories in their book. But I will keep you guys updated for that game as well. Like I said, man, there's no telling. Like, they can get to the playoffs, but if they do, it's going to be a horrendous one to watch because they're not going to look like the team they were last year. I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Rangers can somehow gain all these points that they need to stay in the mix and they're in the playoffs, and then somehow the Capitals end up winning the President's Trophy, which is going to be the most funniest thing to see that the team they swept gets the President's Trophy. Guys, it's not going to be an easy game for these guys. Nope. When they reach the postseason, even with the Panthers having injuries and all that, they still have other teams that are going to be very tough to deal with if they somehow get in the mix. So I personally would love them to sell the team and go young, but you know the Rangers, they don't do that. They love being, they've always been a veteran team since the 90s. This is nothing new. You guys got to remember, I'm 35 and they've always kept it this way. Ever since they won the damn cup, they thought this was the formula, we're going to stick with it. And my God, do I wish it was already changed, but you guys have a wonderful week. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm glad y'all had a good time watching the Four Nations. Thankfully, the Rangers got this W because if they had got this back-to-back L's, they would have started becoming an unwatchable team, even with JT Miller. So, like, I'll keep y'all updated.